recently, Antonio, who is one of my Patreon supporters, asked me if I could do a Q&A video. Normally when I answer your questions in videos, I either focus on one question per video or I have some sort of theme going into it so that all the questions are related. But I realized that I don't think I've ever done just a really general random Q&A video. So I asked my Patreon supporters and my followers on Twitter and Facebook if you guys had any random questions for me, and I'm gonna answer as many as I can. Starting with Antonio, since this is his idea. Who are 3 of your favorite non-Harry Potter related fictional characters? I would have to say Lyra from His Dark Materials, Cordelia Chase from Angel and Buffy, and probably Allison from Orphan Black. If you've gotten to the scene with the glue gun, then you understand why she is my favorite clone. And Antonio also asked if you could collaborate with any YouTuber for the first time at VidCon, who would that be? I'm already hoping to do a bunch of collaborations at VidCon with a bunch of my friends who are gonna be there, but if I could collaborate with anyone? Felicia Day, how cool would that be? Mary, who's also one of my Patreon supporters, asked a few questions as well. Why did you start making YouTube videos? I was actually already making videos, just kind of home videos and little montages set to music before YouTube existed, but there wasn't really a good way to share those with people through the internet because you had to have your own bandwidth and it would run out if you used a free site. So when I found YouTube almost 10 years ago and I saw that it was free and you could upload as many videos as you wanted and share them with your friends, it just seemed like a natural fit. Is there a hobby or type of music or crafting that you want to experiment with but haven't yet? I would really love to learn to build things, maybe do some woodworking. I haven't really done anything like that aside from shop class in middle school, and up until now I didn't really have a place where I could do any kind of woodworking because of fumes and sawdust. But the place we're renting right now actually has a woodworking bench in the basement, so I kind of want to try it out. And kind of also related to that answer, she asked, with your new move, what would your dream studio look like if money or space were irrelevant? I might actually be able to do this eventually if I get really creative in here, but I would love to have multiple video sets for different video series all in my studio. So right now I have this corner, which is just kind of my regular filming spot, but I have to figure out where I'm gonna film wake up dates in this house, and I was thinking if I made a little set over there that might be kind of cool, but I just have to get a little creative because I can't paint in here. Paul asked, are there any songs you've been meaning to write but haven't been able to yet? Yes. For a really long time, I've been trying to write a song about Kristen Bell's sloth meltdown on Ellen. I just think that that is one of the most adorable things I've ever seen. I also really love sloths, so I feel like it makes sense that I would be singing a song about that. But also, I just feel like that story and the emotion that she used to tell it would work really well for a song, and I've tried to write this a few times and I just haven't quite yet gotten it right. Hopefully nobody will steal that idea. I'm fully aware of the fact that now that I've put it out there, someone else will try to do it, and I guess I'm just gonna have to deal with that, but maybe someday it will be a song that exists and it will be hilarious and adorable. Roni asks, do you ever listen to your own music? I only listen to my music if I am in the process of recording it, or if I forget how a song goes and I have to remind myself before a show. Jill is asking, would you ever tour? I love your music and one Wizard Rock show a year isn't enough. I actually toured quite extensively from 2008 to 2012. During the earlier years, I only toured during the summers, but eventually I was touring every season of the year. I was basically out on tour, home for a couple weeks, out on tour again all year long. I've played wonderful shows spanning between audiences of a few thousand people and only a few people on a couch in a living room, and I love it, and I'm not done playing shows. Unfortunately, touring itself got way too expensive. The money that I was making at the shows were no longer actually paying for the travel it required for me to get from show to show, so unfortunately because of that I had to stop. I also have cats now, and I get really sad if I have to leave them for too long. So right now I am basically limited to shows that I can travel for and then come right back home after, so they have to be either a really big show where I'm pretty much guaranteed to make back the travel costs, or if it's a show where the event planner has raised money and is able to actually pay for me to get there. If you're ever curious if I have a show coming up near you, you should definitely go to my website at laurenfairweather.com/shows, where I have all of my current shows listed. I also recommend following me on Twitter and Facebook, where I usually announce the shows that I'm playing. Alina asks if I have any tips for helping to boost self-confidence. This is a really hard one because a lot of people always say things like, be yourself, don't care what other people think about you. And even if other people tell you that you're wonderful, it takes a lot more for you to actually believe that. Developing self-confidence is something that can take a really, really long time, and it's constantly a work in progress, at least for me. But I would say find the things that make you happy, find things that make you feel good about yourself, even if it's only temporarily, and do those things, especially when you really need them. As long as it does not involve tearing other people down, because that will not make you feel any better about yourself. Find people who make you feel good about yourself and surround yourself with them. Big Art wants to know, how's the new place you've moved into? I really like it. We have some stuff here that we did not have before, like laundry and a dishwasher and a backyard. We have a basement where we can store stuff, which is really cool because now my studio is not filled with piles of random things that don't have anywhere else to go. Just my craft stuff and my YouTube stuff, and I can get things done in here, and I have been waiting a long time to have that, so I am very, very happy about this new place. Katie asks, how are your cats doing? They're so wonderful. I love them so much. They're just the cutest. They really like our new house. Frodo gets really excited about playing on the stairs, and Sam is still just really fluffy. He's got fluff for days. Lydia wants to know if I would ever write a book. If I ever wrote a book, I think I would want it to be a crafty book that teaches you how to make plushies with like really beautiful photography of some of my work. Though I have witnessed a fair amount of backlash given the fact that a lot of YouTubers are writing books right now, but I don't necessarily know if people would be excited for me to write a book or if I would get a lot of people just saying, oh, another YouTuber writing another book? You guys are not writers. So I don't really know. I also don't really have any connections in publishing. So I guess the real question is, does someone who makes books happen want me to write a book? Favorite breakfast? There's a restaurant in Providence, Rhode Island called the Duck and Bunny, which at least the last time I went there had an Eggs Benedict on their menu. But instead of having like an English muffin or a biscuit or some sort of bread component under the whole thing, it had a potato pancake, and it also involved avocado and bacon. And it was probably one of the most delicious breakfasts I've ever had. Do you still talk to the 5 awesome girls? Yes, I love them. They're wonderful, wonderful people. I'm really excited because almost all of us are going to VidCon again this year. So I'll get to see Christina and Haley and Kaylee, and it will be wonderful. Ashley asks, what program do you edit your videos on and why? Right now I'm editing using Final Cut Pro. I needed something that was a step or two up from iMovie. I wanted to do some more complicated things like my end screen that you see at the end of each of my videos. And it's been working really well for me, so yeah. And the last question for today comes from Marley, who asked, if there were no limit to your skill or material, what would be a dream craft project for you to work on? Just for practicality's sake, I think that if I were theoretically doing a craft project where skill and money did not matter, I would want to buy a house and then redo everything. Just completely turn every room in that place into something really beautiful and wonderful and unique. It would be a really big, expensive project that I probably will never have the opportunity to do, but I think that that would be pretty amazing. And if I'm going for a little less practical and a little more whimsical, I would really love to just build a giant tree house. I think that would be pretty cool. Thank you guys so much for sending in such thoughtful and interesting questions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.